friends, Anna here. This is like my third time trying to record this because my boys keep interrupting me. So hopefully third time's a charm and I can get through this video. But I wanted to do a quick flip through of my finished June junk journal. I like to do these just for the fact of there's so many people. One of the most common questions I see get asked in the junk journal community is, well, what do you use these for? What do you write about? What do you decorate with? And so I like to do these videos just so that other people can kind of see how one way that you can use to journal and to use these junk journals. So this is my June junk journal, and I purchased this junk journal from Jenny May June from Etsy, and it worked perfectly. It is very, very chunky now. And I did end up removing just a few pages that were extra that I didn't need, but it worked really well for me. It was a good size. Boys. For my journals, I like to, on the inside cover, I like to put kind of just the date that I used them so that I know, I'll know later on down the years kind of what order they go in. So the one thing that I did like about this journal was that she used different papers, different sizes of papers, so it kind of lent itself more for me to be creative in how I journaled. But for me, journaling is just like a snippet out of that day in my life. It can be an event, it can be a topic, it can be about a picture like this. This is my youngest, and he found a toad, and so it's pretty much just, most of it is about him finding this toad. I don't really use a ton of decorating, but you will find that I have quite a few pictures throughout because I do have an HP sprocket and I love it. But you don't really need, I don't feel like you need to do a ton of embellishments if you don't want to. If you don't have a lot of stuff, just use what is around you. This is actually packaging from one of my favorite candies, and I wanted to keep the package just so I can always remember what brand it is. This is from our asparagus festival. Our county is one of the biggest producers of asparagus, so there's always a big festival and parade every year that we like to take the kids to. My niece, she graduated this year, and this was all about her open house. Some senior pictures there. Like this was a single piece of paper, just this one here with the swans on it, and I ended up just kind of gluing it down to make a pocket on this other piece. You'll find sometimes I'll keep business cards from people that I order from. Sometimes I'll journal a lot, and sometimes I'll just journal a little bit if I don't really feel like writing a whole lot. I saw on Instagram, I can't remember now what Instagram user posted this picture of this chair that she found, but I fell in love with it. I thought it was just perfect. My favorite color is my favorite color is green, but especially that emeraldy green, and it had goldenrod, which is another favorite of mine, and it had florals, and so I totally printed out that picture to put in here because I was just so in love with this chair and hope that one day I can find a chair like that. I had finished up my little apothecary in my house, and so I talked about that because that's been something that I have been wanting to finish and work on for months, and I finally did it. We found some turkeys over at my grandma's house, and these turkeys were so funny. Like, my boys would walk up to them and they'd be okay, but as soon as my boys turned around to start walking away, the turkeys would chase them. So it was this big, it turned out being this big game, and I had to tell the boys to stop tormenting the turkeys. But like, you can just use whatever. I mean, this is a paint sample from Lowe's, I think, yeah, and these are just from a field guide book. I love this. I purchased a t-shirt And then I got this sticker and a pin and a magnet all came, but I love this. I'm not antisocial. I'm pro solitude, which is seriously, this is like my my soul saying or something, because that's kind of exactly fits me. It's not that I don't like people. It's not like I'm not, you know, I'm not antisocial. I just really, really love my quiet time. We took the boys, we went, well, and Izzy, we had Izzy that weekend too, but we took the kids, we went and got a pizza, and we ate the pizza at the park and then let them play at the park, and they had such a good time, and it was just something simple like that. It just right down the road from our house, but it was something different and out of the norm, and they had so much fun. And this, I just liked, I love plants, I love trees, and we have tons of trees, and I liked this. I found it in a magazine and was like, oh, I want to keep that. So I just added that in there. There's a pocket here, and then that's what I journaled on. Also, if you've noticed my dating, I tend to date my stuff differently. I like the different variety of dating things. Yes? What do you need?
I'm just walking.
Okay. So you'll notice that each day has a little bit different of a date on it. So we have a huge festival here that's right down the road. It's called the Electric Forest, and my husband is in the fire department, and he ends up like the whole week basically. It runs Wednesday through Sunday pretty much. And so he does a lot of stuff. Well, I was able to go in for a couple hours on Saturday night, and I'd never been before, and this has been going on for quite a few years now. And so I was able to go in for a few hours on Saturday night, and so I was kind of talking about that. And then one of the guys that were there gave this to my husband, this little crane, and then I printed out pictures. And he got these tokens for eating, but so I just kind of printed out all these pictures that I had taken, not all of them, some of them, I guess I should say, because I ended up taking a few more than this. But it was very interesting, and it was not necessarily my cup of tea, but there's like 60,000 people go to this thing. It's a huge ordeal, and it was really cool to finally actually see. Sorry about that. My kids are screaming. Jasper, can you go see what they're doing? On Saturday we had my best friend came up for the weekend, and she brought the 2 packs of these water balloons, and so we filled up these water balloons, and the kids and her and I had a water balloon fight, and it was so much fun. And so I wanted to kind of document that, and so I kept one of the packages of the water balloons and just kind of turned it into a pocket. And then underneath, I talked to there's one of our cats. She was lounging on the deck, and then our dog was staring outside, but just kind of chilling out on Sunday. And then Glenn, shh, quiet. Sorry about that. I started doing with my journals is making like a pocket or just like a little opening or something on the back end, and I can add like extra things that didn't make it into the journal itself, but I wanted to kind of keep with the month that they came or that something happened. So that's that. So that's the end of my June junk journal, and I really liked this journal. It is very fat and chunky. So that one is retiring, and this one is my July junk journal that I'll be using. And I actually purchased this 4 years ago. Yes, you heard that right. 4 years ago when I first started learning about junk journals. I purchased this from Gina at the Rebookery, and I had never used it. And so I thought, well, this is going to be the perfect time for me to start using this. So you can see yesterday's, I've already started there, and it'll be fun to start in on a new journal. So yeah, happy July and happy journaling. I'll talk to you later.